You'll be okay. Ow. This is the story of Bruce, the stray cat who spent months standing outside my door before finally deciding maybe humans weren't all that bad. No. Bruce showed up at my doorstep in November of 2021. At first, I only saw him every once in a while. Sometimes several days would go by before he came back. Then, over the next couple of months, things slowly started to change.
Look who's here during the day. Hi, baby.
His visits became more regular until eventually he was showing up every single day. Before long, seeing Bruce outside became part of my daily routine, and I found myself looking forward to those quiet little visits more than I probably expected.
Yeah.
In the beginning, all I did was feed him. He was very cautious, and I could tell he wasn't comfortable being around people. I didn't want to rush him or force anything, so I just kept putting food out for him every day.
There you go.
After a while, I started thinking that maybe if I was patient enough, there was a chance I could help socialize him. I knew it wasn't going to happen quickly, but I felt like he deserved the opportunity to learn that people could be safe.
Well, good morning, buddy.
The first step was a simple one. I started feeding Bruce with the front door cracked open just a little bit. That became our routine for quite some time. Every day was pretty much the same. I'd leave the door slightly open while he ate, and we'd repeat that over and over again. We took everything in baby steps because that was what Bruce needed. There was never any reason to hurry. Every little bit of progress felt like progress worth celebrating. Eventually, Bruce became comfortable enough to come all the way inside the house to eat. That was a really meaningful moment for me because I remembered when he wouldn't even come near the doorway. Seeing him walk inside on his own felt like a sign that we were slowly moving in the right direction. It wasn't a huge breakthrough all at once. It was simply another small step, but after everything that came before it, it felt like a very important one. Once he was eating inside, I started working on helping Bruce get used to being closer to me. I began feeding him with a spoon. After that, we graduated to using a glove because I wanted to help him slowly become more comfortable with my hands. That part of the process took a long time too. There wasn't a quick fix. We just kept repeating the same routine, giving Bruce all the time he needed to get used to each new step before moving on to the next one. Before trying to trap him, I worked on introducing little bits of petting whenever I could. Eventually, it was time to bring Bruce inside for good, but that turned out to be easier said than done. He was simply too smart to be trapped using conventional methods.
He's getting trapped this weekend. You are.
No matter what I tried, it just didn't work. So in the end, I decided to bite the bullet and trap him using my house instead. Bruce definitely didn't love that decision at first, but it was the only way I could safely get him inside.
Oh, buddy. You're okay.
Those first days after he came inside weren't exactly easy. Bruce was a handful and he was still feeling scared. But even though he was nervous, the socialization actually started moving pretty quickly once he was living indoors. It was encouraging to watch because after taking so many small steps for so long, it finally felt like we were making real progress together.
You've got to be kidding me. I mean...
Before long, Bruce started making it very clear that he wanted affection. He stayed close, and everything about him seemed to say that he wanted to be petted. But whenever I actually reached out to touch him, he wouldn't let me get anywhere near him.
No. You can't swipe it.
It was a little confusing at first because he clearly wanted the attention, but he still wasn't comfortable enough to accept it. I realized he needed a little more help getting past that last bit of uncertainty.
You got up there, so I'm assuming you can get down.
Since I volunteer with Alley Cat Project, I reached out to the people there and asked what they thought might work. They listened to what was happening with Bruce and offered a suggestion that ended up making a huge difference. That's when I started using a scratcher. It really, really helped Bruce get acclimated to me and helped him understand that he was safe. Looking back now, that simple change became an important turning point for both of us. After that, everything seemed to snowball. Bruce slowly became a completely different cat. These days, he watches me from every room in the house. No matter where I go, he always seems to know where I am. He's become such a baby, and he wants me to carry him everywhere. Every once in a while, I'll stop and think about how far he's come, and it's honestly hard to believe he's the same cat who first showed up outside my door. Every night, Bruce sleeps with me in bed, and that's something I never imagined would happen when I first met him. It's one of my favorite parts of the day. Of course, that sweetness usually lasts until about 7 o'clock in the morning when he decides it's breakfast time. His favorite way of letting me know is by standing on my throat and screaming until I get up. I can't even be upset about it anymore because it makes me laugh every single time. Looking back, Bruce taught me that trust doesn't always happen quickly. Sometimes it takes weeks, sometimes it takes months. Every small step matters, even when it doesn't feel like much in the moment. If you're thinking about adopting a rescue animal or helping a stray, remember to let them move at their own pace. Patience and consistency can make an incredible difference. Bruce didn't become the affectionate cat he is today overnight. It happened one small step at a time. Now I wake up with a smile on my face, and at the end of the day, I go to bed smiling too. If Bruce's story meant something to you, we'd love to have you subscribe and follow along as we continue sharing stories about animals who simply needed someone willing to give them a chance.